What's up guys, Mickle here, and in this video, I want to talk about one of my favorite attributes of XRP that doesn't get nearly enough attention. Guys, in this video, I want to break down something that really does make XRP one of the most unique investments out there. In this video, we're going to break that down, as well as something that just came to my attention that could show that this entire Ripple SEC case was all a stage to usher in regulations and make XRP the first fully regulated cryptocurrency in the US market. Guys, what I'm going to show you at the end of this video is absolutely shocking, and it's going to show you that there is so much more to regulating the cryptocurrency industry than just the SEC. Guys, make sure to stick around till the end of the video to see that. You are definitely not going to want to miss it. Like always, guys, your support means so much to this channel. If you want to see more videos just like this, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button down below and turn on bell notifications. These three simple things are going to go such a long way in helping this channel grow, and it really does mean so much to me. If you guys ever need a good place to buy some XRP, make sure to check out my favorite exchange, Uphold, down in the description below. Uphold is my favorite place to buy and sell XRP. With that said though, guys, let's jump right into the video, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So guys, real quick, moomoo just upped their holiday promotion, and you can now win 20 free stocks if you sign up with moomoo using the link in the description of this video. Guys, you can also win a chance to win $60,000 in their holiday sweepstakes. Guys, moomoo is an awesome trading platform. They have a great interface and they're regulated. So guys, do not miss out on this opportunity to get some free money, and go sign up with moomoo now using the link in the description of this video. Guys, I want to start off this video and talk about an attribute of XRP that does not get nearly enough attention. A lot of people talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum as ultrasound money. They talk about these two crypto projects like they have the best tokenomics out there and nothing else beats it. But guys, Bitcoin doesn't have a decreasing supply. It has a supply that never changes, which is pretty good. But things like Ethereum don't even have a decreasing supply. They're naturally inflationary. There's always new Ethereum being created and being pumped into the total supply. Guys, XRP actually has better tokenomics than both of these projects, but you never hear about it. XRP is actually deflationary, and XRP is constantly being removed from the total supply. Just the other day, we actually had the 10 millionth XRP burned. Guys, that means there are 10 million XRP removed from the total 100 billion supply that will never be seen again. The reason this is such a big deal is because as the XRP ledger is forced to become more liquid and more value is moved onto the XRP ledger, the price of each specific XRP is going to have to go up to handle this liquidity. But guys, because XRP is constantly also being removed from the total supply, the amount of each XRP is going to have to be worth incrementally more to cover the increased liquidity needs. I made this graphic to help better understand exactly what I'm talking about here. Right here in the middle of all these different markets, we have XRP. We have milk, that is a $0.5 trillion market, copper, which is 4.5, US stocks, which is 40 trillion, USD, which is 50 trillion, and the peso, which is 5 trillion. Now, these are just arbitrary numbers, but if each one of these markets would be tokenized on the XRP ledger, XRP would have to have a market cap, or each XRP, the total of all these XRP, would have to have a value that has enough liquidity to make all these markets liquid to XRP. This means, and this is just a general rough calculation, but it gives you a good idea of how much value could be in each individual XRP. That would mean that the total amount, or the total market cap of XRP, would have to reflect all these markets, or $100 trillion. Well guys, that would mean that each incremental XRP would have to be around $100. And the reason why that is so exciting is because that's only the beginning of the equation. If you constantly have XRP being removed from the supply, say the supply of XRP was cut in half. Well, then suddenly, to cover all this liquidity that we just talked about, each XRP would have to be worth double than the amount I just told you at $100. Each one would have to be $200 because half the total XRP is now gone from the equation. It was burned. Guys, this is just a very easy way to understand about how much value can flow into this network. A lot of people talk about how market caps of 100 trillion, 200 trillion are so unrealistic, they're never going to happen. But you need to understand that this is not just the market cap of the value that XRP has. It's actually the value of every single market that will be built on XRP. These are things that are so important to understand when valuing a network like this. A lot of people take the market cap of XRP and say, oh, it could never be worth 100 trillion because that's more than Apple and Google and all these other big tech companies combined. Because the fact of the matter is, most of these tech companies are going to have their market caps tokenized on the XRP ledger. It's impossible to be comparing something like XRP, which is a platform to tokenize assets, and a company's equity, which is just the equity that will ultimately be put on one of these networks. The networks will have the total value combined of everything built on it, while the equity of a single company is just that. It's just the equity. Nothing else is flowing into it. There's no additional value being added on top of it. It's just the company that equity represents. I hope that gives you a better idea of how awesome XRP's tokenomics really are. It's completely slept on. No one talks about it, but this just gives you a better understanding of how all these different values can be incorporated into the price of the XRP you and I own. So guys, now I want to move on and go over another pretty big misconception when it comes to XRP. One of the biggest FUD narratives out there, and I know you have heard it before, is that Ripple is constantly dumping XRP on retail holders. Well guys, the first very important thing to point out here is Ripple no longer sells any XRP for profit. The only time Ripple sells XRP is to help different companies who are using XRP improve their liquidity. So if a certain company needs more XRP to help facilitate their transfers, Ripple will sell them XRP so that they can use that XRP. They are selling them XRP so it can be used for the network. Well guys, take a look at this because this is a pretty shocking tweet by Crypto Whale right here. And what it shows is that the Ethereum Foundation at the top of both bull runs in 2018 and 2021 dumped a massive amount of Ethereum perfectly at the top. Right here, we can see in November 2021, the Ethereum Foundation sold 40,000 Ethereum at the very top. And back in 2018, they sold 70,000 Ethereum at the top. Guys, what I'm showing you right here, and this is not some justification for any crypto company to just dump their crypto tokens at the top, but guys, this is the foundation, this is the company, this is the cryptocurrency, whatever you want to call it, that the SEC gave a free pass to. They are not doing anything different than anyone else in crypto, and in fact, a lot of the things that have been uncovered are actually sketchier than a lot of the companies that the SEC has gone after. The main reason I'm showing you guys this is a lot of people see the SEC's case against Ripple and say, oh, there must be something there. Ripple must be doing something that is so much worse than anyone else out there. They must be doing something sketchy. Guys, what this shows you is that the SEC's way of going after people is completely arbitrary. They'll go after whoever they want, and it has nothing to do with Ripple doing something that's bad versus someone else who's doing something good. What this shows you is that the SEC decided to go after Ripple for whatever reason, and we're going to get into a very interesting reason after this, but it has nothing to do with Ripple being some sketchy or bad company. The Ethereum Foundation is literally dumping Ethereum at the top of the bull runs, timing it perfectly somehow, and guys, the SEC has nothing to say about it. It's just something to keep in mind whenever you hear FUD, guys. Just understand it's not something that just Ripple does. Everyone sells their asset, and honestly, most of the different foundations out there are doing things much sketchier than what Ripple's been doing. So guys, I want to finish this video off, and this was tweeted out by digital asset investor under Redfile, and guys, I could not agree with him more. What I'm about to show you right here is pretty shocking, and these are the kinds of things that I see on a daily basis, and I just think about this entire Ripple SEC case and say, you know what, maybe it is all a stage. Maybe this was all planned to give XRP clarity before any other cryptocurrency out there, because guys, when you see this, it is absolutely shocking. So guys, it starts right here, and this is an FDIC advisory committee, and it's called the Systemic Resolution Advisory Committee. This committee provides advice and recommendations on a broad range of issues regarding the resolution of systemically important financial companies, covered companies, pursuant to the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection. So guys, what this is just a committee for the most important financial companies in the entire world. Pretty much the financial companies that are too big to fail. Things that are going to be critical infrastructure to the United States so that, hey, if something bad happens to them, we're not going to let this company go bankrupt. We're going to figure out how to get them back up and running because essentially it's critical for America's infrastructure. Well, guys, take a look at this list of who is on this committee. The first one that kind of jumps out is Jay Clayton, and this was back when he was head of the SEC. But guys, much more interesting than that, and this is where things got pretty shocking, is the fact that right here we have Sandy O'Connor. She is former Chief Regulatory Affairs Officer as well as former JP Morgan. But guys, that is not the only thing Sandy O'Connor was doing. Sandy O'Connor just so happens to also be a Ripple board member. And guys, this whole thing was going on when she was a board member. She was going to these different meetings that were only for systemically important financial companies. And guys, who else was at these meetings? Jay Clayton, the same person who brought this case against Ripple. Guys, what this shows, and this could just all be some random coincidence, but what this shows is that Ripple is being considered on some level a systemically important fintech company. What else this shows is that Jay Clayton likely knew about this because he was at these meetings. He was not oblivious to the fact that Ripple is going to be very important. It was likely talked about at these meetings. So it begs the question, why did Jay Clayton bring this case from the SEC against Ripple if Ripple was going to be designated as systemically important at some point in the future? Well guys, it makes you wonder. Maybe this case was never to go after the fact that XRP was an unregistered security. If XRP finishes this case with clarity that no other cryptocurrency has in the market right now, well, that would actually be a very good resolution from this case. It would almost make it seem like this entire case was a way to front-run regulations and give XRP a designation in the market that no other cryptocurrency is capable of getting. It's almost like this would be something you would do in an emergency if you wanted to make sure that something got regulated before everything else. Guys, that could be exactly what we're watching here. And there's no way to prove that. There's no way we're ever going to get an answer that says this is exactly what happened. But guys, it is sure suspicious that we have Sandy O'Connor, who at this time was a board member of Ripple, attending meetings about systemically important companies with the same exact person who, when he was at the SEC, sued Ripple, and in the process could possibly be making XRP the first regulated cryptocurrency in the US market. Guys, maybe that's too much of a coincidence for you, but make sure to let me know down in the comment section below. It's something that I definitely see as a possibility, regardless if it is the most likely scenario for what happened or it's just something that had a chance of happening. Either way, I think this is a little too much of a coincidence to just blow off and say it's nothing. Let me know what you guys think, though. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It means so much. And for now, Mickle out.